Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Permission to introduce myself. My name is Aditya Wahyu Pratama. NPM 19160411041 from Reguler Class A. In this expertise English segment, I have determined the case, namely the current economic impact in Indonesia due to the coronavirus pandemic, and will relate it to theory from the bias radar book to be responsible in policy making and forex-based securities advice, which I think it dissenses about how to practice responsible scientific advisor in the context of policy making, because it is clear that policies must be based on scientific evidence. However, this book goes beyond that claim and focuses on policy advice beyond that evidence, namely by offering the concept of scientific advice that underlies policy advice more than scientific evidence, taking into account the potential effect of policy on society and the environment. After that, I will provide a solution to this problem. Before I explain about the link, the problem and the solution to the theory of the book, I will explain in advance about the current economic impact in Indonesia due to the coronavirus pandemic. The depression of the coronavirus or COVID-19 has made the economic situation around the world worse. Then what about Indonesia? How much influence does COVID-19 have on the economy in Indonesia today? The government, though the Ministry of Finance, has noted that there are at least some of the main impact of the spread of the coronavirus on the Indonesian economy, from labor to industrial performance in the country. This impact has severely weakened Indonesian social and economic relations. The following is the impact of the coronavirus pandemic on the Indonesian economy. First, there were many layoffs. The COVID-19 pandemic has brought widespread misery to formal and informal workers, because so many workers have been laid off and have been laid off. This caused those who lose their jobs to find it difficult to meet their needs. Second, namely the decrease in import performance. Import performance also experienced a very drastic decline due to restriction on domestic and foreign relations. Third, the impact of inflation as a result of the increase in the price of goods and foodstuffs in general and the continuous scarcity. It makes it difficult for people to fulfill all their needs. Fourth, the decrease in the number of tourist visits of foreign tourists have had a major impact on the domestic economy, and COVID-19 has had a hard impact, causing a reduction in visits by foreign tourists. And finally, decreasing hotel occupancy. The effect of the reduction in foreign tourists also has an impact on the world of hospitals due to the decrease in the number of visitors from foreign tourists. The Ministry of Tourism even noted that due to COVID-19, Indonesia had lost foreign exchange flow from the tourist sector to a 50% cut compared to last year. Next, I will explain the relationship between the current economic impact in Indonesia due to the coronavirus pandemic and theory from the Bias Radar book to be responsible in policymaking and scientific advice based on foresight. In order to break the chain of spreading this virus, the government has also made regulations, including social distancing, worship, studying, and working from home, as well as in several regions of Indonesia also implementing large-scale social restrictions, are known as PSBB. With the existence of this policy, many people cannot carry out activities outside the home, so that reduced activities outside the home greatly affect, affect the decline in people purchasing power. In, in the MSME sector, many cannot carry out their business activities, so this will affect how their ability to meet their needs. This is one of the impact of the significant decline that occurred in the economic sector. This coronavirus pandemic is not only related to public health and safety, but also the economic impact that follow it. To save the economy in the midst of this pandemic, President Jokowi also announced 9 policies. First, Jokowi ordered all ministers, governors, and mayors to cut spending plans that were not a priority in the state revenue and expenditure budget and regular and regional review and expenditure budget to allocate them for assistance in handling the coronavirus. Second, Jokowi asked the central and regional government to reallocate their budget to accelerate the eradication of the impact of corona, both of but from a health and economic perspective. This step is in accordance with Presidential Instruction Number 4 of 2020 concerning refreshing activities, budget, budget reallocation, and procurement of goods and services in the context of accelerating handling of coronavirus. Third, Jokowi asked the central government and local government to guarantee the availability of basic commodities, followed by ensuring that the purchasing power of the people, especially the lower class, is maintained. Fourth, he asked for the cash work intensive program to be reproduced and multiplied, with a note that it must be followed by compliance with the coronavirus prevention protocol, namely maintaining a safe distance from one another. Village fund and provincial district and city government program must also prioritize labor-intensive method because this will help the community, help farmer, help worker, and fishermen in village throughout the country. 5. The pre-employment card and direct cash assistance or BLT. With this pre-employment card, is it is hoped that it can help employees who have been impacted previously. For direct cash assistance itself, President Joko Widodo said that the central government will provide direct cash assistance for poor families. This assistance was provided in an effort to minimize the impact of the coronavirus pandemic. 6. Jokowi has accelerated the implementation of pre-employment card to anticipate workers who are laid off, workers lose their income, and micro entrepreneurs who lose their market and turnover. 7. The government also pays income tax in accordance with Article 21, which has been paid by taxpayers by employees in the manufacturing industry. 8. The Financial Service Authority provides credit relaxation for micro, small, and medium enterprise. The relaxation took the from the form of lowering interest rate and postponing installment for a year, but from the banking and non-bank finance industries. In addition, a year-long installment suspension also applies to motorcycle taxi driver, and fishermen who have vessel installment. 9. Low-income people who carry out subsidies house loan will be given a stimulus. In addition, there is also assistance providing down payment subsidies for subsidies housing loans. In this book, they focus on accountability for policy making. What I will discuss is how the government takes a policy that can have a positive impact on society or the public. As I have previously demonstrated, in my opinion, the policies taken by the government are appropriate and responsible for the needs and problems that occur in society. Because this policy really help the community, all efforts made by the government are expected to restore the economy due to the COVID-19 outbreak. Even though there are still some policies that have not good as planned, such as the wrong targeting of assistance in the form of money or basic food, and the unequal assistance to people in need. Hopefully, this problem can be resolved quickly by the government, and the community can feel the assistance that is right on target ongoing forward. Is this hope that the government and community can work together to survive during this pandemic and then try to improve the economy again. And and now the latter and now the latter is the right solution to economic problem in Indonesia due to the coronavirus based on policies that have been determined by government. In my opinion, the policies pursued by the government are very appropriate, prioritizing the state budget to be a priority in supporting the handling of COVID-19 and existence of direct cash assistance for people affected by the coronavirus. But the government still has to make new policies so that handling of the coronavirus is more effective, such as accelerating treatment and preventing wider transmission. In addition, it eliminates examination fees, whether proven or not, or preventive measures such as the distribution of cheap masks and so on. Furthermore, maintaining the supply and distribution of foodstuff because the distribution of direct cash assistance needs to be supported by policy to ensure the smooth supply and distribution of goods, especially food. At times like this, the potential for panic buying and hoarding is high. So and is huge. So the security of this distribution aspect need to be taken. As expected, the government and the community can work together to survive during this pandemic and then try to improve the economic again. Well, Maybe that's just the result of my expertise English assignment, which link the current case of economic impact in Indonesia due to the coronavirus pandemic with theory from the bias radar book to be responsible in policy making. If there is an error in the delivery of the material or speaks, I'm sorry. I will end it. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you.